Hey everybody. So welcome back. This is going to be the second video of talking about the release notes and everything for the game updates. This is going to be the PvP, World v World video. If you want to check out the PvE and general game update video, that's going to be the first one. There will be a link to it and all that, so don't worry. Alright, so get started here with structured PvP. There have been some map changes, and I can say I actually really like these map changes as someone that is um, really into SPVP. I love it so far. So we're gonna start with Spirit Watch. Pretty much what they did was they've changed the orb to be make the map more competitive. So they've changed the spawn times of it. The initial spawn time is going to be later in the game, and then they've also done some spawn things with it after the initial spawn. The next thing to mention would be the orb now has an increased points that it gives, so it makes it a more um, pivotal point in the game to have the orb. And also something that they mentioned was that there was an unbalance of like certain professions were better at holding the orb than other ones and stuff like that, so they've added restrictions to the orb um, to try to balance that out to make it more even, so that it's not just a which profession holds it wins the game kind of thing. So that's the main changes to Spirit Watch. Next is going to be Skyhammer, and I have to tell you, if you've ever seen my live stream, I absolutely hate Skyhammer. Um, I cannot stand Skyhammer. But with these changes they've added to it, I actually like it a lot better now. I do not mind it as much as I did. So starting off, you can no longer fall off the edge of the map. They've added a barrier to where you can no longer be pushed or walk off the edge of it, which is kind of interesting because they said the reason for that was a lot of professions had a real superior advantage to being able to do that, and that was kind of intentional in the beginning because they wanted um, to be being pushed off the map to be a tactical thing that they added, but they saw that it was kind of an unbalanced feature, so that they're trying to get away from it. On top of that, they've also removed a lot of the disappearing glass floor, so that's no longer a thing. They still have it in like certain areas. They have like a couple of panels that um, are on the map, so you don't actually fall off the map. From what I've seen, I've looked around it and Skyhammer and stuff like that. I haven't seen it. I may have just looked over it because when you're in SPVP, you don't really have time to look around a whole lot if you're focused on the game. So I'm gonna be looking around more and see if there's actually still some in the floor. Okay, so moving on. They've also done minor layouts to like the pillars and like catwalks and stuff like that you can get up on, as well as they have removed a large number of the jump pads, and the remaining ones they have adjusted and moved around and things like that. So a lot of places now the jump pads are very interesting to get to. Like if you know the middle point, the map point B, the walkway on top of it that you can get onto has changed, and the two like temple pillar things next to it are you can now actually walk inside of, which was a thing you couldn't do before. So that's very interesting that they've added. They've also changed the actual sky hammer cannon thing mechanics and the room that's around the sky hammer and some things like that. I haven't really got into all of the specifics of what they've changed, but it's a very interesting section that you guys should go read. So next is going to be Legacy of the Faux Fire, if I said that correctly. I don't know. I don't know. Some of these maps I can't pronounce any of their names. So, anyways, they've attempted to reduce the effectiveness of Lord rushing, which is kind of interesting. They've added some different things to the NPCs and stuff like that to try to reduce people wanting to just rush to the enemy Lord, and that's pretty much all they did there. Next is Forest of Niflheim. I can't say that word, but we all know what that map is. So they've they've increased the spawn time of the NPCs from 10 seconds to 1 minute, the initial spawn time. Next, we're going to be moving to SPVP item changes. So they've added more 4-stat amulets, which is really awesome. They've added those for free, so you don't have to buy them. I think that's really cool. They have them listed and what their stats are and all that in the patch notes if you want to go look at them, or you can just go to the SPVP menu and look at them. So aside from that, they have also made changes to Stronghold, Spectator, and some quality of life changes, such as like when the round starts, you're no longer teleported if you're inside the little starting area when the gates close. Things like that. They've made changes and things. You can go read the details about that too. Raids, they've added lobbies with NPCs and things like that. They've added more raid lobbies, and they've also added raid training areas with specialized training in NPCs and golems and things like that, which look really awesome. I have to say that that's probably a really good thing that they've added there was that training area. Now, next, what we're going to be talking about is scribing. So for the scribing, they've adjusted drop rates for materials and things like that. They've also added, they've adjusted World v World schematics to include things and stuff like that, and they've also adjusted item requirements as well. They've made quite a few changes there. So if you are into the scribing and all that, you may want to go check that out. That's going to be kind of important. And next for like general World v World stuff. They've uh, they've started world linking beta, where they link two worlds together to in an attempt to balance the team size. And they said that if you go to the menu, you should see like a plus beside the names of the worlds that are linked. If you hover your mouse over it, it'll tell you what world they're linked with and things like that. I think that that's definitely good for a lot of the smaller servers that don't really have a presence in World v World to get linked with more servers to kind of get the full experience, which I think is awesome. They're definitely going in a good direction with World v World right now. Um, Reward tracking. So they've added pretty much a World v World version of SPVP rewards, which is interesting. Of course, it's not the exact same thing. You get your rewards are calculated, at the end of each tick and things like that. So it's definitely interesting how they're doing the reward system now. They've also done something with they've added a provision ability line, which is kind of interesting. You guys should go check that out. It's added some pretty cool features. They've made changes to Borderlands, where the map layout has changed in a lot of locations. Some of it are minor changes, some of it are major changes, like they've widened the canyons. They've also added, some sets of stairs, things like that. They've moved some stuff around to try to make it a little bit a better experience playing on the map. And skill balancing. So they have looked at some professions. I think it was mainly 3 or 4 professions that they were targeting with this. They've changed the damage and made some skill tweaks to kind of balance World v World a bit more. And I think that these things only apply to World v World. These changes, so when you're in there, these things happen, but not when you're in like SPVP and PvE and stuff like that. So I think the main ones were Guardian, Elementalist, and Necromancer, and then they also made a change to stability, I believe, and then some other things like that. So that's definitely something you want to go look out if you play those professions. And the next, some general, like very general World v World stuff. World v World no longer supplies EXP, so you no longer get experience while in World v World, but you get tomes instead, the experience tomes like in PvP. So they're kind of going more towards the PvP route with the reward system in general, which is definitely an interesting thing that they're going with. Which I'm not gonna hate on it yet. I'm gonna see where they go with it and kind of see from there. So next, they've made some NPC vendor changes in World v World. That's something you guys are gonna have to go read because they've made a ton of changes on that. And next, they have changed and adjusted objectives and upgrade and made upgrade changes. So like when you upgrade a keep, they've made certain changes to that, and they've changed some objective things like waypoints now are included in upgrades and things like that, is what it was saying. I didn't really look a whole lot into the objectives thing and stuff like that because right now I'm kind of focused on SPVP and PvE, which I'll be doing Worldly World at some point, but right now I'm not too concerned with that. So I didn't really read too much into that, but there were some interesting things that I did see, so that's gonna be something that you guys might want to go check out if you're interested in. If you're normally the guild or the group that upgrades and things like that, that might be something you want to check out. So thank you guys for watching. I may do a discussion video later about what my thoughts are on some of these changes, which I gave a few brief thoughts and things like that during this. So if you want to check out the general Guild Wars 2 changes and additions they've made, as well as PvE, go ahead and take a look at the first video I posted. There will be a link for it. Also, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.